Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 4, and today we're taking a look at the 2010 Ferrari 599 GTO. Now, the standard 599 entered production in 2006, lasting up until 2012, with this GTO version being introduced in 2010. And yeah, this is basically the road legal version of the 599 XX double X track day car, making this a more powerful and performance-orientated version of the standard version. So, yeah, more power, less weight, you know the drill. But however, production was only limited to 599 cars, whereas the standard vehicle sold in excess of 2,000 cars. So, yeah, crucial differences between this and the standard version are, like I said, power, extra power, and less weight. In fact, this weighs 220 pounds less than the standard vehicle at 3,538 pounds. And yeah, engine is also more powerful, like I said. It's still the same size engine at a 6-litre V12 engine, but it now produces 661 horsepower and 457 pounds-feet of torque. So that's 49 horsepower more and 9 pounds-feet of torque more as well. So less weight and more power inevitably make this a far faster vehicle, not just in terms of acceleration, but also in terms of top speed. And yeah, it's a car that is a tale of two halves for me, really, because generally I like Ferraris for their style and their characteristics and yeah, their charisma as well. But this doesn't really have any style, to be honest. I don't like the look of it whatsoever. It's slightly better than the standard version, but it's still really rather ugly in areas and just plain boring in other parts as well. And yeah, it's not got all that much into the way of character either, because it is essentially just a slightly more, you know, faster version of the standard 599. It's not its own vehicle really, and yeah, that comes down to the name as well. Not only is it pretty much the same styling wise as the standard 599, but the GTO name being added on really doesn't make all that much difference, especially when you consider the GTO name was used in previous Ferraris to indicate that it was a car designed for homologation in a racing series, the likes of the 250 GTO and the 288 GTO, whereas this wasn't designed for any racing series, so the name really is a kind of a fake, really. And yeah, that's kind of disheartening when you consider that, you know, you could have made this a whole new vehicle. You could have given it a whole new body and left the underneath stuff the same, because then you would have had a really rather different vehicle that hopefully would look better as well. But as it is, it's still got some of the practicality of the standard 599. So yeah, you've got a decent interior, no rear seats, thankfully, that they've not tried to squeeze in there. But yeah, you've still got a decent interior, and yeah, crucially, you've still got a boot as well to use. Though it's sizable-ish inside, it's got quite a narrow opening. So yeah, don't go try and get into many wide luggage things in there, because you're not going to get them in. So yeah, let's get out onto the open road and see what this more performance orientated vehicle can do. So despite not liking the looks and the car not being all that original, it's still nonetheless a really rather fast car, and at the end of the day it's still got that glorious sounding V12 engine, which as you can see is revving to more than 8,000 RPM. And because this is from 9 years ago, it's not, you know, been subdued by turbocharging or any hybrid systems or anything like that. It's just a pure, naturally aspirated, large V12 engine, which, you know, obviously we don't get enough of these days for many reasons, but we just don't. And yeah, this is one of the last Ferraris really to have not just practicality on its side, but also a really rather large front-mounted V12 engine. Now, obviously, we do have the F12 and the Berlinetta version, and then the TDF. And personally, I prefer those to this, especially the TDF version. But you know, in all honesty, though, that TDF version is a little bit on the too powerful side, especially for, you know, normal road use. Whereas this gets it a little bit more right in terms of balance. Now granted, I prefer the TDF in terms of looks, in terms of performance, and yeah, in terms of general power, but that car is far more of a track car than, you know, a road going car. Whereas this has the track side and the road side a lot more balanced out. So yeah, it does have that going for it, even if looks wise and name wise it's really not something I approve of, quite frankly. But nonetheless, acceleration is still really rather good for a car from 2010, especially for a car in this kind of class. 0 to 16, 3.364 seconds. 0 to 100 in 7.216 seconds. And it will go into a top speed of 219 miles an hour, which is still impressive even by today's standards. So, yeah, back in 2010, this was a really rather admirable car in terms of speed and acceleration. Handling wise, it's a case of the faster you go the better, quite frankly, because yeah, like a lot of Ferraris, this relies on downforce to keep it on the road and keep it in check in terms of handling. So yeah, lower speed corners, yeah, there's either a fair bit of oversteer or a hint of understeer going on, but like I said, the faster you go and on the faster corners you are in for a treat. And yeah, obviously the faster you're going to be going, the higher revving that engine is, and yeah, more glorious it sounds. So yeah, it's a car I have grown to like over time. Initially I didn't like this car at all. I just instantly dismissed it because it wasn't a real GTO, it wasn't a good looking vehicle, and it was essentially just a slightly more powerful, slightly lighter version of a car I didn't like at all, because I really don't like the standard 599 whatsoever. But this has, like I said, grown on me a fair bit, and even though I do prefer other Ferraris over this, even some modern ones over this, it's still nonetheless a car that gets a balance between track performance and everyday use really rather bang on. And yeah, it can be really rather fun to drive as well. So yeah, might somewhat break the rule book for me on what a Ferrari should be, but it still nonetheless is a solid vehicle to as a driver's vehicle. It is still nonetheless solid, and yeah, performance wise it can't really be you know, hated on, quite frankly. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.